Anyway, I got back to my friend's house. It was probably like 12:30 going on 1 o'clock at night, and that's when I got the hi friend, and I'm like, why does this happen as soon as I'm walking in the door every time? This is starting to freak me out a little bit, because again, I had not responded to him since the FWB, ONS, one night stand. Is it true that foreigners do that? And he still keeps texting me hi friend, and when I blocked him, I got another message from another cacao that just said hi. Surprise, shawty. I spend too much time on TikTok. What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So it's been a minute. It's been like 2 weeks. First of all, Happy New Year. We made it to 2021 by the grace of God and the skin of our teeth. But yeah, I'm sorry about the delay in this video and content. Normally, for those who follow me, it's really rare for me to go any more than like a week without posting a video. I am really starting to run out of things to talk about because I haven't lived much of a life the past year, Corona. I haven't been to Korea in over a year, Corona again. So it's been kind of hard to figure out what to talk about, but I got lucky. On New Year's Day, I got a cacao message that just said, hi friend, and I'm like, friend, who is? What had happened was, this is gonna be a story time about this, I don't know if you want to call it stalking. I don't know if it counts as stalking, but this guy in CU, and he asked for my cacao, and he started sending like weird messages periodically time over the course of like 2019. But I didn't hear from him at all in 2020, so I forgot who this was. So yeah, this video is pretty much going to be a story time. It's going to be a bit shorter, and that's why I was kind of debating whether to make this video this kind of a short story, because when I feel uncomfortable by a man, I tend to shut it down rather quick. So I'm gonna try to give you guys as many details as possible, timelines and stuff. So if you guys want to hear about that time where I was maybe stalked, I can't explain how he knew when I was home or not. I don't know if it was a weird string of coincidences. If you're interested in that, that is what this story time is gonna be about. You can tell me in the comments if this is considered stalking. I don't know, I felt uncomfortable. So before we get into this potential stalker creepy story time, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Now, again, I am trying really hard to get back to Korea in a few weeks, and a big goal of mine, especially going into the new year, is to be more fluent in conversational Korean, because even though I understand a good bit, I've never had the guts to actually talk to a person in Korean, because they hear you say one word and they assume you're fluent and it's just off and I can't understand. So I've been using Skillshare to actually like close my eyes and listen to the dialogue and try my best to keep up with what they're saying. Now in my video last week, I showed you guys the app I've been using, but for the past like 3 or 4 videos, I've been telling you guys about Skillshare. But it's not just a language thing. Like, Skillshare is an online community where, especially with all this downtime we've had during COVID and quarantining, when you wanted to be productive and feel like you're actually learning yourself, like you're being productive. One of my resolutions for 2021 is to not have an unproductive day. Whether I take a me day or whether I learn something new, I don't want to feel like I'm wasting days anymore, because that was like all of 2020, just waiting this out, and we're still dealing with it. So for example, I know a lot of people ask me about starting their own YouTube channel. You can learn all about that on Skillshare. They have classes on video production, film, art, all sorts of things that may go hand in hand with starting a YouTube channel, for example. I've been using it for several reasons. I just feel like it's a really good opportunity, a really good space to just work on yourself, to work on different hobbies and interests you may have. For me, that's been Korean. And for most of you watching this video, it may also be Korean. And I've actually learned a lot. So for those who are interested, if you click the link in the description box below, you will get access to a trial with the premium features from Skillshare, and I hope they help you like they've really been helping me, because with all this downtime, I don't feel like such a bum. So this all started back in, okay, for those who don't know, I was a teacher in Korea. It was about March 2017 to January 2019. So I had a month left on my visa, and I wanted to spend more time in Seoul because I had worked and lived in the rural side of Korea. So aside from just going to Seoul and hanging out with my friends on the weekends, my friend actually had like a place with an extra room, and I could just stay with her in Seoul for a little bit. So I would like take a bus back home to get a change of clothes and like swap them out and then get a bus right back. So I spent a lot of time at her house in like the whole month of February. One day I went to the CU. It's like a convenience store, like a Royal Farms or a CVS, Walgreens type of, well, those are like pharmacies. It's a convenience store in Korea, one of the major ones. It's like CU, 7-Eleven, and GS25. So I'm in there, and in Korea in the winter, you know, you get the little tinkle in your throat. You can tell when you're gonna get sick, and because Korea doesn't really have much allowance for like sick days and, you can't really take off of work and stuff. They have all these like ready over-the-counter remedies for when you're feeling a little under the weather. So it was really common to have these like little vitamin C drinks, and I like it. I love lemon, and it's vitamin C, so it's always good for you. It's good for your skin, and it's good for you. Vitamin C is really important. So they always have these like 1+1 or 2+1 deals going on, and I remember looking and trying to debate which one I should get. I'm just in CU like, should I get 1 or 2? But then I kind of want the smaller one. Just being difficult for no reason. When you're in Korea for a long time, and you're so used to hearing Korean, when you finally hear English, it just kind of stands out to you, right? So I hear, hello, and excuse me, and I'm like, English?
Talk, squirrel.
And there's some guy who's talking to me. He was sitting down. Now, you'll see it's pretty common in Korea for like, at convenience stores, they have like chairs and tables set up for people to like eat their ramen, or to kind of like smoke on the front like porch sort of thing, and kind of just like people watch. It's pretty common at convenience stores there. So he said hello, and then honestly, this is maybe, like I said, this is February of 2019. So I'm like, I've been in Korea for like 2 years at this point. It's really rare for a random Korean to just come and talk to me. That may have happened 2 times before in the whole 2 years there. So I was kind of like, hi. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, but you're so pretty. And I was like, oh, thank you. That was a little weird. And he said, may I ask your name? And I was like, yeah, sure. I told him my Korean name because my name is Isis, but in Korean it's like Aishisu, and then there's like water named Isis, and then my kids used to call me Terror Teacher. So I just Bodomirago Heo. Told him like that's just my Korean name because my actual name may be difficult for Koreans to pronounce. So he complimented me on my name, asked me if I had cacao. Now, my whole thing with this, it is so rare for me to be approached in a normal, calm manner by any person, especially a dude. I always hear like Korean guys talk about how shy they are and how they don't like to talk to foreigners because they're really shy. Sure. So I was just kind of like, sure, like what's the harm? And not for nothing, I'm used to people asking for my cacao and then I never hear from them anyway. So I was like, yeah, sure, here's my cacao. So like we had small talk. He asked if I was a student. I told him no, I'm just finished being a teacher. He said, oh, you're a teacher, but you look so young. Then he asked, oh, well, maybe you can teach me English. Ha 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 ha. There's always that small talk when they find out you're a teacher. Oh, will you teach me? Will you teach me English? That happens like every time. So I think it was like 4 a.m. later that day when I finally heard from him. That's red flag number 1. It is always rule of thumb for me that whenever a dude hits you up in the wee hours of the morning, I never like to encourage that. Even if I'm wide awake, I'm gonna tell them I'm about to go to sleep. Because what is any other reason to be talking to me that late at night? Especially after you just ask where I live. Like, nah, bruh, this ain't no booty call. We don't do that over here. That's always like the biggest red flag to me. Again, this was me kind of like trying to encourage / reward that kind of like nice, normal approach to people. Just say, oh, you're pretty. What do you do? I like your name. Be normal. Don't be creepy. And I was kind of trying to like promote that. Like, look, this is what happens when you're nice and normal. You can make friends. Because he wasn't my type. Like, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I can't emphasize that enough. And I was about to leave Korea anyway, so I was not looking for anything like that at all. I remember I got to my friend's place and I was like, you'll never believe what just happened. Some dude just asked for my cacao. She's like, and you gave it to him? I said, you too nice. And I was like, no, but like he was normal. Like he wasn't like a weird or a creep. And she said, yet. And she was right, because the creepiness started, and that's what we're about to get into. So it was like 4 a.m. when I finally heard from this dude. And all it said was, hi friend. And you know, I don't recall his name.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
So I didn't know who he was. And it was just, the cacao was just like 3 initials. It was like JLP or something. So I didn't know who that was anyway. I'm like, J? I was like, how do I know you? So he said, oh, we just met at CU. And I was like, oh, okay, like how are you? It's kind of late, I'm gonna go to bed. He said, yeah, I'm still up. I was wondering what you were doing. I was like, I'm about to go to bed. And he said, oh, do you live in the area? And I don't know what it is, but from my first 2 years in Korea, I am scarred for life. Whenever a guy asks me where I live, do I live alone? Am I far? Like, because that to me has always meant that they're trying to find out like if they can come over or if they're in range, and that's not gonna happen anyway. So I didn't tell him. I was like, why does that matter? He said, oh, just asking because you're in CU, so I thought you might live nearby like me. And I said, oh, haha, well, good night. So then instead of getting like the you know, normally when you say goodnight to someone, they say goodnight back. He said, oh, is it true? And I was like, is what true? He said that foreigners like ONS, FWB, and hookup.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I said no. And then I just left it at that. Cause like in February, that was me trying to like explore as much as I could because I knew I was about to go back home. So I was out a lot. I remember even going to meet up with Lana Summer. We did we did a story time about like this dude in the club, and he like put my hand on his privates. I talked about that. So I went to her place to like hang out with her, and she was telling me about her Airbnb and stuff. So I was out pretty late that night, and we filmed my video and then we filmed her video there same day. And we also did a mukbang video. So I remember getting back pretty late, and when I got back, I caught like one of the last buses, because I like the buses more than the trains because I like to look out the window and listen to my music and see the city lights. The train's depressing, it's just dark. So I elected to take a longer bus. So the cool thing is the bus was pretty empty that night. Anyway, I got back to my friend's house. It was probably like 12:30 going on 1 o'clock at night, and that's when I got the hi friend. And I'm like, why does this happen as soon as I'm walking in the door every time? This is starting to freak me out a little bit.
Why are you running?
Because again, I had not responded to him since the FWB, ONS, one night stand. Is it true that foreigners do that? And he still keeps texting me, hi friend. And when I blocked him, I got another message from another cacao that just said, hi friend. Now again, I forgot about the story entirely because I had not heard from him at all in 2020. New Year's this year, and I talked about this in my Zoom call because I told we had like it was like a 5-hour Zoom call on New Year's Day, and I told them like, yo, I got a story time I'm working on, but I wasn't sure if I should share it because it's kind of a short story. I told them how I just got a hi friend message from somebody I don't know in Cacao, and it took me a minute to understand who that was because they said, hi friend, remember me, we met on Tinder. I did not meet him on Tinder, so I don't know what he was talking about. We met at CU, so I didn't know who he was. I'm like, hi friend and Tinder, and I'm like, and it popped back in my head. I'm like, this is that dude. I don't know why he thought maybe a whole year would go by and I would just forget how creepy he was. But yeah, I don't know if y'all can help explain this to me, but whenever I would, as soon as I would walk back into my friend's place, because her apartment was like above a hair salon, and like it had like 2 or 3 apartments at the very top, and we had access to the roof. It was pretty cool. But as soon as I got in, I would get a hi friend text from this dude on different Cacao accounts randomly throughout that whole month. For 2019, after I left Korea, I didn't hear from him again until like the summer. No, it was like June or July when I got another, hey, how are you? And I didn't know who he was, and I said, who's this? And he said, you don't remember me? And I remember one of the last messages, I think that's probably the only screenshot I still have left, but I got a message from another account that was just 3 initials, 3 different initials, and it said, hi friend, or hi, how are you? And I said, I don't know who you are. And he said, I think you know me very well. And I didn't respond, and I blocked them. Now for the rest of 2019, I didn't really hear that much, except maybe every other month I would get a hi friend. That was it. And even when I was back in Korea, I didn't really hear from him because I was only in Korea from September 2019 to November 2019. I think the last thing I heard from him in 2019 was he said, let's talk, you are so hot, or something like that. First of all, I don't like when strangers call me hot. I don't mind when like a girl calls me hot because she has nothing to gain. That's like a real compliment. When another girl compliments you, that hits deep. That's like a different level. That's why I love like when we're out clubbing or we're out and I'm just like, oh my god, I like your braids. Oh my god, I love that dress. I love that shirt. Because when another girl compliments you, self-esteem, boom. When another dude compliments you, it's like they're just telling you what they think you want to hear. In my mind, that's how it translates. So when another guy calls me hot, that just means they're thinking about one thing. Like, don't tell me I'm hot because that means you just want to smash. Tell me I'm pretty.
Feed me and tell me I'm pretty!
So yeah, anyway, mistakes were made. I hope this is, it's a short story and I'm sorry, but again, I'm running out of content and this was barely a story time, but I felt like it was necessary to tell y'all about because hopefully it's a cautionary tale that just because a person is nice doesn't mean you should give them your contact information. I still don't know how that happened where as soon as I walked into my friend's place, sat my bag down, took my shoes off, I get the hi friend. That gave me like creepy Silence of the Lambs, Clarice, hello Clarice vibes. I still don't like that. I would always get that hi friend as soon as I walked in. Not when I was out living my life, not when I was out clubbing late at like 3 a.m. It was only as soon as I got back to her house, I would get the hi friend. So I don't like that at all. This was me just trying to reward what I thought was just nice, normal social behavior. And that turned into, hi friend, is it true that foreigners do ONS hookup in FWB? I hate that we have this stereotype in Korea. It's so freaking frustrating. I hope you enjoyed this story time. I know it's short, but I'm hoping that with plans seeming to fall back into place, I'll be back in Korea with new content, especially for my channel members. I'm gonna have like special like vlogs and live streams while I'm just walking around and create, because I really feel like I haven't been able to like keep up with the perks as much lately. So I'm really hoping that things will be back to normal really soon. Just please stay patient with me through this month while I figure all this stuff out. Thanks for watching if you did. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.